Hi, Grace Baptist Church. It is a beautiful, rainy Saturday day, and but we're so thankful that we can connect with you this way. And we are have the privilege to connect with Patrick McClure, our missionary in São Paulo, Brazil. He and his wife Anjanelle have been there. I don't know how long you guys have been there. God's given them 4 kids, and they are hunkered in their bunker there in Brazil. Because of the pandemic. And so I'm glad he took time this afternoon to connect with us and bring us up to speed on what God's doing there in Brazil. So Patrick, hello and welcome. Thanks for taking time to connect with Grace Baptist Church.
Hello, and hi to Grace Baptist Church. I enjoyed participating with you over the last few weeks through your virtual services, if you will. So we're saying greetings from a very sunny day here in Brazil, it's been dry as a bone, so it's quite different than what you're experiencing. But we are hunkered in our bunker here and have been for quite a while now. I think Elaine is keeping track.
How's your family doing?
Oh, everybody's doing fine. The kids are coming to the final days of this school year, so they're just about to finish next week with finals and everything. It was a blessing that we do homeschool, so that didn't change with all of this, and we were able to finish out the year without any problems. So I'm sure there's some level of boredom if you talk to each one of them and they want to get out and they want to see their friends, but in general, we're healthy and we're here.
Awesome. What's going on with Brazil? How are they handling COVID-19?
All right. We are several weeks behind the United States as far as exposure and number of cases. So right now we hit about somewhere between 52 and 54,000 cases confirmed in the country. Just to remind you, this is a country of over 212 million people, so just kind of put that in perspective. We have somewhere in the range of 3,600 deaths so far that are attached to COVID-19. And in general, life has been it's kind of just changed to indoors and in our house quite a bit. We still see quite a bit of movement when I go out and about to buy groceries, the basics that we need. But the biggest thing has been, as you Americans can relate, a big political battle, because the president and the governor of our state and the mayor of our city all disagree with one another and all have upcoming elections to protect. And so there's a lot of that going on as well. But as far as the actual disease and things, it's progressing as it has in other countries. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that's going to affect life in general.
Sure. How is it impacting the ministry you do there in Brazil and the training up of Brazilian pastors and the influence that you're having with training men in biblical counseling and men and women in that regard?
Well, as far as if you read our last newsletter, we had a lot of things planned for this year, a lot of upcoming meetings, some coursework that I was doing in Brasilia, as well as translating for. Other kinds of like youth meetings and just a number of events were shaping up, both for me to help through translating in the biblical counseling world and just for me to speak. And of course, church involvement, and all of that kind of ground to a halt. And we're just waiting to see when some of those things can be reestablished. And a lot of it went online. So our church services, our pastors wisely went over to an online format. We do a Sunday morning study in the morning. And then the big service here in Brazil is in the evening. And so we have that going on still as far as them offering a devotional message on Sunday night. We do our small groups still via Zoom or Skype. And as far as the training aspect goes, my classes that I have at the seminary just went to Zoom. And so we're offering them online, and we're able to adapt to that pretty quickly. Google Classroom has been really neat to be able to assign things and get that answer back. And a lot of the online stuff it's been kind of forcing us to think about online methods that might be the way that we progress with other things in the future. Especially if you've read our newsletters about, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, how might this impact your ministry going forward? And then you were about ready to answer that. So yeah, so I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, well, because one of the interesting things is if you've read our newsletters, I'm very interested in seeing how Brazil, especially as such a big Portuguese-speaking country, can help influence Christ followers and bring people to Christ in other Portuguese-speaking countries. So there are a number of Portuguese speaking countries in Africa, a couple over in the eastern part of the world. And so this right here is kind of forcing us to think of online formats, which would actually give us access to these countries a whole lot easier than actually traveling there. Even though I do want to travel there, I do want to make physical contact with these people. So already I'm thinking of ways in which we can use the online format, even from our school, our seminary, different ways that I can do it personally to offer training and courses and contact with these people who do not have these resources, especially in those other countries, but obviously around Brazil as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're learning about our world during a pandemic is we're much closer in our economies. We're much closer in our contact with people connecting, and now with our online presence, it's really interesting how God is kind of shifting our mindsets, even how it's going to impact missions down the road. We might see people surrender to be a missionary and stay in their own house and just learn a language and do a lot of stuff online. There's just a lot of ways that this is going to impact the church moving forward, as well as missions moving forward. So we want to be adaptable and ready to respond to what God's doing. So it's pretty interesting. It really is a neat time to think through those things.
Yeah. Because I think two things that this whole situation has brought out, in the same way that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. We're seeing a lot of heart issues being brought, from individual levels all the way to national levels, what's going on in people's lives. And then we're seeing a lot of people actually looking for answers from us. Like, okay, what do you have? And it's kind of neat that we have that opportunity. So it's going to be interesting to see the aftermath.
Absolutely. That's great. Hey, as we think through how we can pray for the McClure family, for you and Anjanelle, for your 4 kids, and then how can we pray for the ministry and the churches there in Brazil? Just share with us some prayer requests.
Okay, so starting with our family, one big thing right now is Nathaniel, our oldest, is 18. And so there's a number of things that are connected to that. One is we have to work out his military service because it's mandatory in Brazil. And of course, we would like him to go to the States and study, so we have to work that out. And he is graduating right now from high school, and all those plans, he was actually going to go to a physical ceremony there in, we had a Curtis come across there.
Yeah.
But he was going to a physical ceremony in Pensacola on May 12th, and now that's gone, and it's going to be an online something or other. And then, of course, we've got the whole idea of him leaving for the United States, if that's even going to happen, in August. So he'll be going there to Missouri, College of the Ozarks, in August, if all this works out. But all of that's both up in the air, and then there's the whole just how our first kid going out and that far away. So there's all that.
That's a big deal for mom and dad, the graduation of their first son. How else can we pray for what's going on there in your home in Brazil?
Yeah, and then as far as our family goes, just we're keeping healthy, we're keeping safe. We're going to go into some weird days here because even our postal service is closed off from the States, so we're not sure how next school year is going to get down to us. So that's all kind of up in the air, but that's that stuff. And then ministry-wise, just that we can continue to use the resources that we have and connect with people and make sure that especially the people who are having to quarantine or how we can reach out to them and do to encourage them that they're connected. We have to be.
Hey, Patrick, thanks for taking time with us today. We'll be praying for you and Anjanelle, and looking forward to hearing the good things that are going to come out of this. And hey, keep working on some of those translations. All right, no excuse. You're staying home, so you can get some of those more of those books translated. All right.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
God bless you. We appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call.